Welcome to Hidden Hilltop Homestead. We are starting off this vlog with some batting. I need to cut up some batting squares for some upcoming quilts, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut all of this roll. I'm using this 5-inch square ruler, and then I'm also going to be using my 6 by 24-inch ruler. So basically, I start by cutting strips that are 5 inches wide, and I cut them the entire width, or I guess it'd be no, it's the width, yeah, the width of the batting. So this is 90-inch batting, and I just cut the entire strip all the way down and keep it whole, and then I'll go back and cut squares out of the strips. Super simple. I like to do this as like batch work because just getting it all done, just kind of consistently going, keep the motivation, you know. And then I will have a stack of cut batting. I feel like this is something whenever I'm starting to put a quilt together, if I'm cutting out the front and the back fabric, and then I have to stop and cut out batting, and this, because this is a big chunk of material, it takes a little bit longer. So if I can just knock it all out at once, I get rid of this big chunk of stuff taking up space, and I can smush it down into stackable squares. So we're gonna see how many strips I can get out of this. This was supposed to be a 3-yard cut, so we will see. This is an example of the generosity of batting measurements at some stores, because I only ordered, this was a 3-yard piece, and I ended up with about 3.5 yards, and then this is what I had left over. So that's pretty good. We're gonna see how many squares I get per strip, and then we'll see how many squares I'm gonna have for the whole thing. It's just a touch too short, which honestly, if I hadn't cut off the end, it would work. Squares. Just finished all of those squares. This is about 350-ish, so enough for at least 3 quilts with some left over. So that's about 3.5 yards worth of squares, which is, you know, pretty tall. So I'm set for the next 3 quilts. So now I'm gonna work on some project management because I'm down to 4 quilts in progress, which is awesome. Went from like 9 down to 4. We're almost done. After I get all these finished, then I can start on some new stuff. So this is just a bunch of squares cut out for a throw. Obviously it's a Christmas print. It's really pretty, like vintage looking prints. I think it's adorable. So this I'm gonna put on my shelf because I only have 3 spots on my quilt. We have the Grinch down here. This one's gonna be the one that's in this bag, and then the blue Christmas one, which is the one that's furthest along. So this is just gonna go off to the side here. I'm gonna move the chicken quilt out of the bag and onto the cart. This one just has like an assortment of country florals and then like some chicken prints, so it's really cute. I'm gonna get back to sewing. I'm gonna work on this blue Christmas quilt. This is row 5. So when I'm done, I'll sew that to row 4. And then we'll add 6, and that will be halfway done. Row 4 and 5 are done. I went to my local Michael's, and I was just kind of popping in because I haven't been there since our local Joann's closed, and I was wondering if it had really changed. I didn't look through the yarn super intensely. I just kind of made my way around the store. It looks pretty much the same, but our store is inside of a very large building, so the store doesn't even take up the entire building. It kind of just takes up probably like 2/3 to 3/4 of it. So they have all this empty space that's just storage, and it looks like they're expanding. So our store is probably going to get bigger. It already had fabric, and the fabric kind of looked the same. There might have even been less, but I mean, since the only fabric store in the area closed, I bet Michael's is always like running out of fabric. But anyways, I was milling around. I saw this in the scrapbooking section. It's a desktop dustbin, and I thought this would be perfect for when I'm sliding thread and stuff over, because like I cut thread and all kinds of stuff, and I usually just kind of slide it off the edge of my table into the trash can, and then I have crap all over the floor. So I thought maybe this would be better if it'll work on my table. So I got it for $7. I'm gonna open it up and see what we're working with. It looks brand new, so that's a plus. Sometimes you never know. You get like a returned item. Okay. So this is the clamp, which would go on like this, right? And then this is the bag. This is incredibly simple, I think. Oh yeah. So yeah, you just open this up. This is the bag. It's kind of like a very hard, kind of like what a camping chair is probably made out of, or like a tent. Polyester or nylon or something, I'm not sure. Feels it's plastic of some kind. It looks like a hospital barf bag, which is funny. So yeah, that's a big bag. On the box, it's like the texture that it says the bag is looked like the lining fabric they put on like couches and stuff. You take your cushions off, and underneath there's that like soft crappy fabric. That's what that looked like. This is plastic for sure. So this I'm a little bit concerned about because the lip of my table is huge, and I'll show you why I'm slightly concerned here in just a second. But first I gotta... Alright, so 20 years later I got those all the way open, and then this just clicks in here, slides in here like that. Oh, I see. There we go. Now it's tight. So here's the bag, right? So it's supposed to go on your table lip, but this is what mine looks like all the way around. Obviously, it's not gonna go on, right? What I could do, I think I could do, I might be able to do it like this, and then, but that doesn't matter. So I don't know. So I gave up on the bag because it's not going to work unless we do some kind of stupid modification. I am going to hang on to it because I can probably use it for something else, but sadly it's not going to be my scrap thread bag. But anyways, I'm going to get some sewing done tonight. So I came to Hobby Lobby today to get some more batting, and I'm going to obviously pick up a little bit of fabric. I'm just kind of checking out the fabric section. I haven't been here in a while, but how cute is this black floral and with those pinks? Adorable. This is the flannel section of my Hobby Lobby, which is probably the same as yours, and there's not that much variety. There's no black, and everything's kind of low, but there is a lot to choose from with the cottons. So on this trip I decided to get a few prints that I think I don't have, but I'm an avid fabric collector, so I also need to get some more batting, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get 3 yards. Back from Hobby Lobby, I'm gonna keep sewing and see how far I can get along with this Blue Christmas, because I would love to get this wrapped up today and get it listed and be done with it, honestly. Just finished row 7 of the Blue Christmas quilt. So this is the first row of the second half of the quilt. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 left to go. I'm gonna try really hard to get this finished today just because I want it listed because it's so close. So I'm gonna keep sewing on this, and then we're gonna finish that, wash it, and be done. I ran out of bobbin thread as soon as I was getting ready to sew row 7 and 8 together, so now I have to do this, which there's not a lot of thread on this, so we'll see how much this gets me here. I always turn it down because I'll use the stylus. Max, like turbo rolls, it's too much. It's a little too, Max is a little too much. Here we go. It's pretty good. Ooh, dropped it. We're okay. I didn't unroll it that much, but yeah, that'll get me a good distance. I don't know if that'll finish sewing these rows together, but it'll get me pretty close. So there's another bobbin done. I'm gonna use this same exact color pretty much. These are all older bobbins that I got from my mom, I believe. She went through her sewing kit before they moved to Florida and was like, hey, do you want some of this stuff? And I said, sure. So I took all of the thread. So I have a lot of stuff that, I mean, this is a pretty color, I just don't use that a lot. So getting rid of some of the older thread has kind of been the jam recently. Now we are back in business. I just finished row 9, so this is 7, 8, 9, and I have 3 more rows to do, 10, 11, and 12, and then I'll join those to this, and then we'll put this with the top of the quilt, do our perimeter, and we're done. Last row. This is row 10 through 12. I just have it stretched out there. So now I'm gonna add 7, 8, and 9 to the top of this, and that will be the bottom half of our quilt, and then I'll attach the bottom half to the top half. This is the bottom half, 6 rows.
Is the 7.5 by 10.5. I'm pretty sure I've had this design before as well. I got 200 of them, so there's 2 bags.
All right, blanket is completely put together. Now I'm going to do the perimeter stitching all the way around. When that's done, I'll trim it just like I trimmed this fringe, and then wash and dry. And then we'll lint roll, take it outside, and get some pictures. Alright, the trim has been finished all the way around and it is ready to go. So I'm going to put this in the washer with a little bit of detergent and some color catcher sheets, and then we'll get it out, lint roll it, pictures, and then we're done. So here is the bag. This all came from the same cut of blue, so I'm assuming we had some color absorption from the front blocks because those are probably darker blue blocks on the front. Still looks adorable. This is the front. It's very pretty. We've got these light blue snowflakes have glitter, but nothing else does. But it's just so pretty. It's very blue Christmas. I think it's adorable. This would go cute on a couch for sure, or even a recliner. If you have a gray or black couch, this would look really good. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching this vlog. I'm going to get this folded up and put away and get my pictures and videos I took for my Etsy listing. I do have an Etsy shop now. I will have that linked in the description where you can find all my quilts. I'm also going to start selling some of my crochet stuff, so check that out. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to be notified when I put out new content, and we'll see you next time. Bye.